everybody. Thanks for being here. This is a special day for me and my family. First of all, I want to say to President Docherty, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us today. My old friend Jerry Hemmings, thank you. Marty, thank you so much for being here today. I have special memories of this place. Russ has probably heard the stories from somebody, but I walked on to try out 47 years ago, and if it wasn't for Jerry Hemmings, I wouldn't have had a chance. But he gave me a chance, changed my life. This university is special to me because it gave me a chance. Rural kid, not much money, to put it mildly. Paper bag for an equipment bag when I started. But it taught me a lot. Sports and the classes here taught me a lot about dedication and focus, taught me a lot about team and how to work as part of a team. These wonderful gifts are what I hope our family can give back and support here at the university with our scholarship contributions today. We're adding to our athletic scholarships, our general scholarships as well. And in doing this, we are hoping that we can give that door opener to young people who may, like I was, be challenged fiscally and may also benefit tremendously from the lessons that come from Brandon University and the opportunities it presents. So this gift is being made in part also to honor the memory of my sister Peggy, who unfortunately passed, my younger sister Peggy, who left us far too soon to cancer. And it's made in honor and out of respect for all the families who have lost someone in this awful pandemic period, whether through COVID or whether through related causes. It's placed an incredible stress on families and also on institutions and the way that we run things and the way that we work as small business people and as educators, as healthcare professionals. It's placed stress on everyone. It's a time we'll always forget, and I think, and I hope, and I pray that in the years to come, we'll look back and say we were proud of what we did, to rise to the challenge, to face the challenge head on, and to do the best we could with the assets we had and with the teamwork that we have put on display here in Manitoba. I'm proud of the people of Manitoba, and I'm proud of Brandon University and the way that you have opened the door to so many young people throughout your history. And I hope that in some small way we can encourage others to do the same today. I would encourage others who have been blessed in their lives, as I have, as my family has, to give back and to contribute. We're proud as a government in Manitoba to have quintupled the amount of money available for scholarships since we came to power just 5.5 years ago. We want to see that continue, but it depends also on partners in the private sector and alumni to come back and offer their best to the place that gave them the opportunity to be their best. So that's it from me. Again, thanks so much, Jerry and Marty, for taking the time to be here today. Thanks to all of you for being here today, and God bless you. Let's keep going here. Brandon University's got a bright future, and I'm proud to be part of it.
Premier, could you just elaborate a little bit on this gift? Like, how much money is this? What's it going to support?
It's about $250,000. We've established about, I guess the guys at the foundation will tell you exactly. I think 13 or 14 years ago we established a general scholarship, started that going, and then a few years ago added a scholarship for female athletes. And now I'm adding to the female scholarship a significant amount, and then adding also a male athlete graduate scholarship, plus beefing up the original scholarship. So there'll be 3 pillars of scholarships available through three different programs.
So male athlete, female athlete,
and then a general entrance scholarship as well.
So what, you say $250,000, is that new money?
Yeah.
For that you've been asking?
Yeah, and then of course, I declare something of a conflict, but because of the matching program we've established, we'll also be levering a little bit more money for graduates and for continuing scholarships as well through the matching program on the, I understand, on the athletic side as well.
Do you know how many students will benefit from this?
Well, it's for perpetuity. So you know how trusts work, and basically get 4.5% of the money every year that's available. We've, I think, helped close to 100 grads so far with our programs. I also do other scholarships as well through my private company located in Portage la Prairie, and we've helped, I think, over 50 students there. And as an MLA, I've always supported high school grads with our scholarships there, perhaps about the same numbers. So we're hoping that obviously, our educational institutions are here to stay. The need for education is here to stay. The need for the skills that come from participating in sports, I think, is going to be something that's going to continue. So we want our scholarships to continue in perpetuity, and that's the design that the Foundation's helped us to arrive at.
Is this a legacy project for you?
Well, it's something that we're beefing up today that started some years ago, over a decade ago, and we'll continue to invest. I come from a family of educators. My mother was a teacher for over 40 years. My sister was a teacher, and I know they'd be proud of this commitment today.
How important was it to you to get this announced before you went public life?
Well, it's important to get kids funded on their university. It's the time of year that everybody's starting up. It's nice to see those athletes downstairs and outside getting ready to go. Brings back a lot of memories for me. So I think it's timely to get that support out there. For me, I couldn't have gone to post-secondary. I was the oldest in our family. We didn't have a big business operation, to put it mildly. So for me, having those scholarships I was able to get helped me to come to university. I had to work part-time as well, but it made a difference. If I hadn't have had that support, I wouldn't be the Premier of Manitoba talking to you today.
You said last week that you've made difficult decisions throughout your time in politics, but that this one to leave might be the most difficult. How come?
Because this is a time to build. This is a time to rebuild. We've been knocked down. We've been all knocked for a loop with this pandemic, let's face it. Incredible opportunity to build, and that's what I like to do. I was given the chance here to build a human being, I guess, by the people at this university that gave me that support, and I love to build. And I see great opportunities for Manitoba and for its institutions, for all of us coming up. I see our economic recovery. I think we'll lead the country in economic recovery. And I think we've helped set the stage for that with some of the tough decisions we made over the last half decade. So I'm proud of that, and I'm proud of the people I've had the privilege of working with in government, and I'll miss them. But I know that there's no easy decisions in life, and this has been one of the hardest ones I've ever had to make. But I think it's time to move on for the good of my family, and I think that Manitobans deserve the chance to know who is going to be their Premier and make that choice in the next election, having had that chance. And I've seen past leaders try to hang on for too long sometimes. I don't want to be one of those. So I still think I have a lot to give, and I'm not suggesting that age has anything to do with this. I'm not an ageist. I think people can offer a lot in their golden years, and I plan on doing that. But I do think that it's time for our province to move forward, and I will miss being as active as I have been in that building project.
There's a Premier's meeting in October. You became the leader for this fiscal year.
Yep.
Did you not? Were you not intending to lead that meeting in October?
I would love to have done that. I think the commitments of the federal parties in the election reflect the work that I and the other premiers did in a unified fashion to push for healthcare support. Sustainable healthcare funding is absolutely a top priority for this country. And I'm seeing the responses from the various federal parties, and I see the Conservative Party in particular taking a very, very strong position in support of sustainable healthcare funding. My goal has been and will continue to be, as the longest serving Premier, I was the one who I guess could be accused of hounding the others to stay united and stay focused on this issue, and I believe that the Premiers have done a good job of doing so. And so after the federal election is determined and the outcome is determined by the Canadian people, there's a great opportunity for the Premiers to continue with that unity and to achieve sustainable improvements to our healthcare funding model. I would like to have been part of that on the one hand, but on the other hand, there's no perfect time. So, I think this is the time now, and it gives time for a leadership contest, which of course I've said to you and others. Colin will remember I don't want to comment on the leadership contest, and you understand why. Because the neutrality that has to be there and must be there is something I would not want to jeopardize in any way, shape, or form.
Why do you think, though, that you would, by staying on, that people would accuse you of influencing?
Well, it's already started, and I've been around this. It's already started, and I've been around this rodeo a lot. I've seen leadership contests that went well, and I've seen them go not well. And I don't doubt for a second that there'll be lots of emotion and hard feelings. I've been part of leadership contests, part of nomination contests, part of elections. The last thing I want to see is division within the Progressive Conservative Party in Manitoba that would hurt them in their recovery and their ability to focus on governing. Remember, this is a governing party for the next 2 years at least.
Right. You mentioned, I guess, in an interview yesterday that you may have some regrets in terms of the pandemic. What regrets do you have?
Well, I've been pretty clear. I think we should have gone harder on the enforcement of our public health orders earlier. I don't think that message was sent. And I think, unfortunately, and look, it's human nature. When did we ever have rules like this before? None of us in our lifetimes, I don't think. Maybe a few Manitobans who immigrated from foreign countries, experienced martial law or experienced restrictions that affected their ability to move, their ability to meet, their ability to gather, and so on, maybe. But most Canadians, who were certainly those who were born here, have never, ever had these restrictions in their lives. So it's understandable that it would be a hard adjustment for people to accept those restrictions. Who could have thought 2 years ago we'd be telling people they can't gather for a funeral? My sister's funeral has yet to be held. Who would have thought that we'd be telling people they can't gather for a wedding? That they can't go into a store unmasked? That they can't gather numbers over 5 in their yard? You know, seriously. These are hard, hard things. But without standing up for those rules to be enforced, earlier on, I think we probably allowed more of the behaviors that are natural, and I guess in some cases one might defend them, but that led to the transfer of COVID, and that caused more COVID to come. So we've learned from that, and that's why the restrictions were just beefed up the other day again, and why we believe that they have to continue. We're an island right now. We have very, very few COVID cases, but we're surrounded by other jurisdictions like Saskatchewan, Alberta, others right across the country that have much higher numbers, and we see the dangers that poses to the lives of people, to the healthcare systems there. We don't want that to happen here in Manitoba.
Mr. Premier, we have time for one more question.
Yes, sir.
One more question.
Thank you. I'll call on that.
I do want to ask you, two caucus members have spoken out against vaccine mandates.
Yeah.
You've advocated for public health measures throughout. I mean, what do you say to
When you start acting like the opposition, you should prepare to be in the opposition.
You're saying your MLAs are acting like they're in the opposition?
When you start acting like the opposition, you should prepare to be in the opposition. When you do things, Jerry Hemmings will tell you, when you do things that the other team likes, you're probably not acting in the best interests of your team. Simple as that.
Over the last month, you've come to Brandon to make several big announcements. Why did you want to sort of leave your impact on the city in your final time?
Yeah, well, 2 major announcements here, right? The healthcare announcement and this one personally. Yeah, you know, this is my adopted home, I guess you could say. This is a beautiful town, a beautiful city, beautiful region. My first teaching offer was in Souris. I've often looked back on that and thought if I'd taken that offer, I'd probably still be teaching or just retired from teaching maybe in Souris. I love Westman. I love the people here. I just, means a lot to me. So seeing the future, seeing the growth in this city and in the surrounding area as well, just makes me tremendously happy. And I'm proud of my teammates that represent these ridings. Cliff Cullen, Reg Helwer, Len Eastelson have done a great job. The surrounding area, Doyle Panyuk, and you know the various others in the immediate area that have. Greg Nesbitt has done a great job as well. I'll miss them, and but I'll keep looking for progress. I'll keep looking for progress in Brandon and Westman. Thanks, guys. Thanks for your interest in being here today. Mr. President, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Premier. It's great to have you here. This is a great day for BU. It's a great day because the Premier has shown real leadership by contributing to his already existing scholarships. One of the members of the press asked, you know, how many students are impacted, and I can tell you that the impact is huge. Because it's an endowed scholarship, it will go on and go on and go on and go on and continue to continue to help people. And so for many students, what difference does this scholarship mean? Well, maybe it means they go from part-time to full-time status. Maybe it's the difference between finishing in 7 years versus 4. Maybe it's the difference between working just a little bit less to top up their earnings, spending a bit more time with their family. That everything's not just school and work, that they can actually have a bit of time for their friends and family. It's a huge difference in people's lives. I have a scholarship that I've named after my parents, an endowed scholarship, and I know the Premier and I spoke about it earlier. Why make this investment? Because as much as you invest, when you get that letter of thanks from a student who says, I couldn't have done this without your help, it's worth every darn cent that you've contributed. Most studies show that people who are beneficiaries of scholarships are more likely to go on to establish one themselves. That's what the Premier's done. He did it over a decade ago, and he continues to give because he believes in students, he believes in helping others, and he made a heck of a difference. So when those students walk across the stage, when the stage is set down here and we get back to in-person convocations and those students walk across the stage and graduate, they'll know that someone was helping them make that walk across the stage. So on behalf of BU, thank you very much, Premier. And it's always great to see Marty